What you're currently seeing on my chart right now is 4 machine learning models, and the 4 of them are based on 4 research papers. So the first one is a Cisco, the Purdue, and this one is based on a CNN and an LSTM, and this one is based on an XLSTM. Now, let's go over each so that I can explain how to set this up and how each is working in brief. If we were to start with the TiRex, this is the TiRex. This is based on the XLSTM. You're supposed to give this model context, right? Because it has this thing we call in-context learning. In our case, we are giving this model 1000 data points. So you go back 1000 steps, like this is the H4, take all the close for the last 1000, give this to the TiRex model, and it's supposed to give you 10 predictions into the future, as you can see. So the red one is the TiRex. 10 steps into the future, and this model gives us predictions as quantiles. That means we have an upper bound, a lower bound, and a median, and that's the only thing I am plotting here. If I was to plot the 10 points, like the whole chart would be looking so messy, and that is a TiRex. Okay, now the next one is this model. This is based on a CNN and an LSTM. It's a combination of the two. We use the CNN to extract features, then pass the residuals to the LSTM layer, and out comes our prediction. Now, what that looks like on our chart, it's this blue line, the dots at the very bottom. And the interesting thing about this specific model is that they did not give us a pre-trained model, so you'll have to train this on your own laptop. I'll get to showing you how to do all that. The second last one, sorry, is the Purdue one. This is an object detection model. It has been shown very, very many images of charts. And once you give it an image, it gives you a prediction of, I think, the price is about to go up or down. On the chart, what that looks like, it's these boxes that you can see right here. So the orange-ish is prediction that the price is about to go down, and the green is the price is about to go up. The last one is the Cisco model. This one is based on the transformer architecture. On the chart, it's these black dots. You can see the black dots. It also predicts into the future, and it also gives us quantiles the same as a TiRex. Now, the most interesting part about this Cisco model is that it uses, in the context of trading, you would be giving it 2 time frames, data from 2 time frames, a higher time frame and a lower time frame. If you really think about how you also trade, it's the same thing. You probably go to a higher time frame, check the trend, the bias, or whatever you usually do analysis on the higher time frame, go to a lower time frame and trade from that lower time frame. In this case, we'll be giving this model 2 time frames as the context, and it's supposed to give us like these predictions. As you can see, these are the black dots. Now, let me show you how to set this up. Of course, setting up the models is one thing. We need to come up with strategies on how to use these models, but for this video, I'm just showing you how to set up. If you have any ideas on how we can use these models, for example, maybe you're seeing patterns on once the crossover with the Cisco and the TiRex happens, something happens, do let me know in the comments. Now, I'm going to set this up on a Windows server. The first thing you need to do is go to my coffee shop. Once you come to ko-fi.com/Omaitha, you should see the AI workbench. Here, just put 0. If you'd like to support the hustle, you can put whatever amount you want to give. Then give an email address. For this address, I'll be sending you updates to this project. This is going to be an ongoing project. That is the goal. Like, we need to have as many options for models as possible instead of just the generic technical indicators. Now download everything, the 3 of them, and you can see this is version 8. In case you're watching this in a different version, I do not intend to change a lot of things, but the setup should be the same way. In case there is any differences in how to set up, I will do an updated video, but in case this is the last video you're seeing on setup and you're on like maybe version 1 or something, just follow the same instructions. Of course, the next thing you need is MT5, because this will be running on MetaTrader 5. go to MetaTrader 5 and download for your specific OS. Now, for the case of if you already have MT5, that's fine. This is going to work either way. So don't be stressed about that. Once everything is done downloading, you should see everything in your downloads folder. I'm going to extract this, extract the zip file. As that is going on, I'm going to start setting up our MT5. I'm assuming we've already installed MT5 at this point. I'm going to use the default one. I want to show you how to set up the EA first. So now the first thing I need you to do is go to Tools, then click on Options, and on the Expert Advisors tab, make sure you allow algorithmic trading. And now this is the most important part, allow web request for listed URLs. So remember, our models are running on Python, which is what we're currently installing, right? Which is what we'll be installing, the thing that's currently extracting. That will be like Python. And for us to interact with that Python, we need to be able to send requests. And for that, because it's running locally, let's put our localhost right here, http://127.0.0.1, and then click on OK. The other thing, I need you to make sure this is green. If it's currently red like that, just click on it to enable algorithmic trading. And I can see our setup has finished. Let me just go to the downloads and delete this running loan space. Let me clear my recycle bin first. Now, once you get into the extracted file, you will see this setup. Do not touch this. Don't touch that at all. Double click on the setup. And this blue box is there because I need to pay Microsoft at like $400 so that they can publish this officially. I'm still not able to afford that. Hopefully by the time you're viewing this, I've probably afforded this and you won't see this. And click on run anyway. They should bring up the setup that will now be launching everything. Here, click on yes. So as that is loading, let's go back to our MetaTrader. Oh, okay, click next. I agree and install. So as that is running, let's go back to MT5. Now, the next thing I need you to do is go to File, Open Data folder, then MQL5, Experts. If you go back to your downloads, you should see the predictions EA. Right click on it. You can cut or you can copy and come and paste that inside this Experts folder. Now you can close all this. Once you come to Expert Advisors, if you right click, refresh, you should see the predictions EA. So now let me just walk you through the EA as we wait for the setup to finish so that I can show you how to do everything else. So the Cisco model, this is a Cisco model. Like I mentioned, you need to give it context. This is what we're saying the look back. So we're telling Cisco, I'm giving you 1,000 data points, give me predictions of 10 days. And like I mentioned, this is higher time frame, lower time frame, you need to give it both. And for this, the default is 1 day and 4 hours. The plot's color, it's black. View previous predictions. So if you were to go back to, let me just go back to my laptop and show you this. You see, if we scroll back, the prediction started here. I didn't load this model long ago. It was like literally while this bar was forming. So what that means is I need you to go back 50 bars and show me what would have happened in the past. And at this point, so the EA will go get the 1,000 points up to this point, give that to the model, and the Cisco model will give us this prediction. Then we move that sliding window to the right, all the way to the very end. So in fact, all this plot previous predictions, that's what they mean. If this is false, it will not do that. It will only start predicting from the current candle. And so that's it for the Cisco one. The last one, bars to wait before next prediction. So in our case, if I go back to my laptop, you see this is the H4. Once this candle closes and another one starts forming, this model will recalculate again using this new bar. Get the last 1,000 up to that formed bar and get the next prediction. Now, in the event, let's say you want to be using like this 10 and only redo the calculation again after 10 bars, you would have changed this to 10. That's what that means. So for the trend prediction, this is the Fado one. Let's go back here. This is the model, the Fado one. So you can see on this chart, if you count these candles, they are 50. If you go back to this, I'm using 40. Like I said, in the back end, we're not really giving it like a screenshot of our chart. We're simply taking the open, high, low, close in the back end, constructing that image and sending that to the model. So that all that will be abstracted from, your view. You don't have to really think about that. And these are the settings. Next, we have TiRex. The TiRex was the red one, the one I showed you, to having the predictions into the future as well. This red one, the TiRex. The predictions are pretty similar to the Cisco one. In fact, they are almost identical. You can see the difference is like the color, it's red. Okay, now this one, for the ResNet, like I mentioned, if I was to go back, this is the blue one. If you check the paper, this is the paper. We'll be training this locally, and that's what I'll be showing you now. Because we need to train it locally, you can decide to be using, as you can see here, I'm having Deriv, but on my laptop, I'm currently logged in with Pepperstone. If I was to use this same exact model I've trained on Pepperstone, I should not expect that it should perform the same on Deriv. So that is the main idea, that you can train models based on your own broker. Okay, let's just wait. So the setup has finished. I'm going to, let me first minimize this so that you can see everything properly. I don't know, where is it? If you haven't opened MT5 yet, I highly encourage you to uncheck this and click on finish. If you have MT5 open, you can simply run. Now, in the event you've closed your laptop and you want to launch this product next time, you'll see a shortcut on your chart. Also, when you come to search and you just search AI Workbench, you should see it as a desktop app. So loading it will simply be double clicking, and that should give you this loader. This will take maybe a minute or two. Be patient because we are loading like machine learning stuff. It's going to take a minute. Now, for this demo, I'm not going to show you the Cisco inside the VPS. This is because the transformer is very memory intensive. This VPS has 4 GB and I'm sharing it with somebody else. Like, this is my account. I'm sharing it to somebody else, so I can assure you I don't have enough RAM to run this. On top of that, the model, the checkpoint itself for the model that was provided by the Cisco researchers is like 2 GB. So you can imagine loading 2 GB, and once that 2 GB and it has like 50 layers, doing all those complex math, I think you need at least 6 GB minimum, or 4 GB if you're not having a lot of things going on. But in this case, I won't show you the Cisco model inside the VPS, but as you can see on my laptop, it's working perfectly. I also have it on another chart right here. It is currently plotting in the past. I I'm trying to build a new strategy with this Cisco model. So you can see I went as far back as 2000. If I was to just check. So you can see I've said the initial plots are 2000 because I want to go as far back as possible and start figuring out what kind of strategies I can build with this model. It has been running for some time. So be patient with this model. It's really heavy. It's doing a lot of computation. And don't forget, it's doing data from like 2 time frames. So it's a lot. So maybe I'll have an offering in future where I do everything on the cloud for you. But for now, this is what we have. Now, once this is done, the loader is done. The next thing is you have an MT5 you want to use. In our case, if you click on browse and go back to program files, you can see I have XNS also installed on this same machine. So if I wanted to do this on XNS, I'll simply click on XNS. But because we already set up everything on MetaTrader 5, I'm going to keep it at that. In this folder, just check the terminal 64, click on it and click open. Once you're done, verify and launch. In case you do not see anything happening and you don't have MT5 open, it's probably trying to load that same MT5, that same file you've given us. It's going to try to load that. Sometimes that process may hang or not. That's why I was encouraging you to make sure to make sure your MT5 is already running. So in case you find that you clicked on verify and launch and nothing really happened, what you can do is go back and start afresh by double clicking on the chart on the desktop, or going to start and checking for AI workbench. And this is what we are looking for. Now, to set up the EA, let me just expand this. Once you expand this, down here, you will see this port 53820. This will be different on every run because we're looking for a port on your machine that is not currently being used. And this was a free port, so 53820. Now, if we go back to our chart, if you right click on the EA and then click on attach chart, you see here where it's 8000. I need you to change that value to 53820 or whatever you're seeing on your side. This is going to be dynamic. I can assure you, you're probably not seeing the same value as me, because it's going to change on every run. So do the 53820 here. The 53820. Yes, 53820. And once you're okay with that, I'm going to turn off the Cisco one because, like I said, I don't have enough RAM on my machine. And I'm going to show you how the Fado one and the TiRex one will be plotting. So let me also make sure this is false for now because I haven't showed you how to train. I want to show you that as we let this load. Okay, you should see API ping success. And if I was to zoom out, should start seeing the red one, which I've said is the TiRex. And you can see it's going into the past and drawing using past data so that you can see like the bigger picture. Okay. So that is a TiRex. I'm going to now show you how to do the custom training for the ResNet. You're going to come on training ground on this drop down. Maybe in future I'll have more trainable models, but for now we have this. Leave that as a default. Let's give this a name and say maybe demo for version 8. Let's choose Euro USD. Want to do this on the close. So the candles to use, I had not explained this, but let me just go back to my chart. So now let me explain to you how the ResNet works. We have from day 1 to day 10. We tell them what this was the prices from day 1 to day 10, and this was the price for day 11. Then we go down and move that window from day 2 to day 11 and tell it this was day 12. Now you see it's like we have this sliding window of 10 days. That's what that means here. If you come here and we give this a name, candles to use. So in our case, because we're not using days, this is H4. If we want this to be like, let's say, all the H4s for this day, we would say, let's say 6. So these are the last 6 H4 close prices. I need you to use that to like as a sliding window. 6 is a sliding window in this case. Maybe I should word this better, but to save time, I'm going to only train this from 2025, 2026. Make sure you give this a name, and once everything looks good to you, remember you can go as far back as you need, but this will be dependent on your broker. Sometimes the broker can fail to give you quality data, which will affect the quality of your model. Sometimes they will give you like data that is not properly formatted. So these are things you need to be cognizant of as you go forward. Once you're done, click on Run Training. You should see some logs on this end. And you see this was very fast. And you will have this curve. You should always, sorry, I didn't explain the percentage. Now, what this means is I want you to use 80% to train the model, and the remaining 20% is an evaluation. So as we train the model, the lower the training loss, the better. But having a model that is able to perform better on data it hasn't seen, that's the best case. That's why we have this orange line, which is showing the training, the validation loss. Ideally, your chart should look something like this. This is a good model. And once you're happy with that, click on Save and Register Endpoint. Now, once you come to the Endpoints tab, you should see what we have just trained. So you see this demo V8, that's what we're going to be using here. In fact, this finished plotting. As you can see, everything is fine. Now let me show you for that ResNet we've just. So turn this to true, and in this space, just type the demo V8. Sequence length simply means the candles to use. I'm going to reword this, I think, for consistency, but this should have been 6. I'm going to turn off these others so that we only have the ResNet endpoint name. Sorry, this was demo V8, and this is 6. Was it a capital V or a small v? Let's see. A small v. Okay. Oh, like that. So make sure, hopefully I've renamed this. This should be candles to use as well, that you can have the 6, and you can see now it's plotting perfectly. And that is how you train specifically for this. And in fact, you see that model is based on Euro USD. You can always check here. If you put this same, if you try to connect this to like a different maybe chart, like maybe Euro GPY, it's not going to work. Yeah, and that's pretty much how you set everything up. I have covered everything, and you should have something like this by the end of that installation. Everything should be on your chart. You have the option to turn something on or off. Now, please let me know what patterns you're seeing. What are the kind of things you're seeing that we should probably implement as strategies? Like I was going over this earlier this morning, and I was seeing like some interesting patterns with accelerator oscillator and the Cisco one. This is on M5. Let me show you. So what I was seeing is if these two are somehow touching the candle and we have like this sharp angle, if you were to put a buy stop and a sell stop in these two levels, it will eventually be hit. So in this case, this would have been nullified at some point, and we have that. So I identified that same pattern like over and over again. It's being showed here as well. You can see it here as well. You can see this is touching, the other two are touching this, and we have like this sharp pattern. We have the top and the bottom. If this was a sell stop, it would have gone down. Same case here. This was never hit. We go down. Well, I don't know whether this would have made a lot of money, but with a trailing stop loss, this could be a viable strategy. I'm going to code this shortly after I'm done with this video and test it some more. It's the same pattern you can see here, like a sharp angle. We put buy stop, sell stop right here, down here for the next candle. Because of course, this candle has to finish for me so that we can see like this shape. And this is another one. This is another one here. The opposite is also happening. For example, this is a sharp one. We put our sell stop here and our buy stop, where is it? Our buy stop is up here, you can see. But it's looking really good for like the high angles. I'm not done like going over it and looking for more strategies. I also want to combine like the confirmations with the accelerator oscillator. So this is just, that's why I had it do like such a huge look back. I'm waiting for it to finish. Then I'll try to find like more patterns and build strategies around all of them. Okay, so do let me know any patterns you're observing. Let's turn those into trading bots. Like the goal should be us finding like really profitable setups that we can reliably count on.